Hello there. Are you thinking of flying today? Well, that might be a bad idea. Now, just a quick note. You may or may not know that a bunch of lotus munchers have just lost their income stream, suddenly and out of the blue. And that has got us thinking on this channel that we do need to diversify our sources of revenue, so you might see the odd change in how we do that going forwards. So another conspiracy theory hits the airwaves. This time it's about an increasing number of pilots becoming seriously ill while in flight. And the cause of all this? Well, the claim is that it's down to the mandating of a particular medical procedure, i.e., no take, no flying jobs. Now, surely that can't be true. I'm sure I read somewhere that pilots are not allowed to partake of experimental stuff, so forcing them to take it must be illegal, mustn't it? And if it were true, surely the authorities would be all over it and grounding pilots left, right and Chelsea. But there's no inquiry and no mass groundings, so it can't possibly be true, can it now? And I mean no one, not even greedy airline owners who need their planes to fly to stay solvent, would endanger their staff and then throw them under a bus later, would they? But this rumour is fuelled by other claims. One such rumour emerged in January this year, with the claim that billionaires wanting to get themselves to the last WEF meeting in Davos were requesting that their jetliners were piloted and crewed by those who had not partaken. Now that would be a real eye-opener and be very shocking if that was true and it did get out there. However, Conservative Woman ran a piece on this yesterday. The piece cited 5 recent incidents within 3 weeks and said they were highly unusual, and also said, according to pilot and medical aviation Dr. Jackie Stone, airline pilots have Class 1 medical clearance. This means they are extremely fit and extremely healthy, with less than a 1% chance per year of having a medical incident that could immobilise them. They receive extensive annual medicals and are grounded if an incapacitating condition is picked up. And it quotes Glenn Waters, a member of the Aussie Freedom Flyers, saying they have a growing list of anecdotal accounts from pilots and related staff from across the airline industry about this. And the group has launched legal action against employers who force them on threat of losing their jobs to accept the medication. And reading the rest of the article, it becomes clear that those involved at the top are keeping their heads well down and not answering questions. So that, together with our government's silence, must prove there's no problems and that there's nothing to see here. Mustn't it? Now this is worrying. Today is the anniversary of the signing of the Acts of Union between Great Britain and Ireland in 1800, and right on cue MI5 has raised the terror threat in Northern Ireland to the 4th highest level of severe, meaning that an attack is highly likely, all based on an increase in the levels of activity relating to Northern Ireland-related terrorism. Not something that we really want to see, is it? How dare they? The proletarian upstarts have taken to attacking the planet-saving low-traffic neighbourhood street furniture. That's right. The Mail reports that vigilantes in the Greater Manchester town of Rochdale torched a number of planters closing roads just hours after they were installed last week. And one motorist in Oxford angrily confronted eco-zealots who were self-policing a road to stop traffic going through. Although, to be fair, that road entrance was blocked to traffic by road signs. although the motorists said they were prepared to drive through and take the traffic fine if need be, so told the eco-zealots to just get out the way, but they didn't. And this does illustrate the growing concern about the loss of freedoms amongst the car driving community. But the message here is, don't wait until after the eco-loons have pushed the laws through and carved up your community into bite-sized net zero chunks. You have to take them on from the very start. And that takes time and effort. But sadly, most people don't feel they have that time and effort available to help themselves. But be in no doubt, the eco-loons do, and they act. And central government wants all this nonsense in place and supplies the dosh to local councils to get it done. Ordinary long-suffering taxpayers are having the money they earn and hand over in taxes used against them. But the European Union has now backtracked on some of its net zero plans. And the Eco Brigade is worried that it will lead to much more petrol and diesel being used in the next decade or so. The German car industry has forced Brussels to agree to allow the sales of new internal combustion engine cars after 2035, as long as they can run on e-fuels. But according to eco-warriors, studies indicate that cars running on e-fuels emit almost as much greenhouse gas as conventional vehicles, unless direct air capture technology is used to offset this, reports The Guardian. And it goes on to say that e-fuels are more expensive, and that it would derail the decarbonisation of the new fleet while allowing more conventional oil to be used in the existing fleet post-2035. A win-win for big oil. The more you look at all of this, the more you see a few wealthy and powerful people wielding great power to impose stuff on the rest of us that we never asked for or voted for. And that should make the blood run cold, because sure as eggs is eggs, there's something else coming down the track from them to further diminish our lives while enriching theirs. Well, that's a bit telling, isn't it? Instead of penning an "I'm off" letter to His Madge, the outgoing First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, sent a very humble letter to the King. Something that will not please many of the Scottish indie types. Oh no. Especially when she says it has been her pleasure to serve him, and that she has the honour to be His Majesty's humble and obedient servant. What's she angling for? A seat at the coronation? Or will we be told that this is the normal format for such a missive? Now let's roll on a bit. I wonder if she's going to be offered an honour of some sort, and maybe she needs to make her renewed fealty public to get it. Maybe, just maybe, she hasn't stepped back from politics at all. Maybe ambition still stirs. Could it be possible that she enters the Westminster bubble of all places via the red benches in the House of Lords? Now that would stir a few pots, both in the pro-UK and the pro-Indie camps. But as it's always only ever been about Nicola where she's concerned, I don't think she'll care. Do you?